Gotham, a city drowning in shadows. But now something far darker lurks beneath. The Carnage symbiote, a parasite driven by madness and bloodlust, has arrived. It slithers from host to host, searching for the perfect symbiosis, a vessel strong enough to unleash its full potential. And in Gotham, there's no shortage of twisted souls to choose from. Joker was Carnage's first choice, Gotham's clown prince of crime, already a force of chaos. But now, with the symbiote bonded to him, his madness knows no bounds. The parasite feeds off his insanity, amplifying it to lethal heights. Batman once outsmarted him, but what happens when Joker becomes something even chaos can't control? Scarecrow, the master of fear, as the Carnage symbiote wraps around him. His fear toxins mix with the parasite's bloodlust, creating something even nightmares can't contain. Batman has faced fear before, but this time, fear has become something far more deadly.
You will stay to the stars.
Two-Face, now torn between justice and vengeance, a perfect vessel for Carnage's chaos. The symbiote embraces his fractured mind, feeding on his rage. The coin once decided his fate, but now, Carnage has already chosen, and it always chooses death. Bane, the ultimate predator, Carnage fuses with his body, replacing Venom with something far more sinister. Strength fueled by rage, unbound by control. The parasite amplifies his power, turning Bane into a force even Batman may never escape. Poison Ivy, Gotham's deadly eco-terrorist. As Carnage finds its way into her veins, her plants twist into grotesque monsters, feeding on the same chaotic energy. Nature is no longer her ally, it's her weapon. Even Batman, who resisted her before, may not survive her wrath. Penguin, the manipulator, the schemer. Now with Carnage pulsing through his body, his empire of crime runs on blood and terror. No longer content with subtlety, Penguin's newfound hunger for power is matched only by Carnage's need to kill. Mr. Freeze, cold and calculating, the symbiote invades his suit, fueling his vengeance with a new, raw power. Freeze's logic is gone, replaced by Carnage's fury. Batman once shattered his plans. Now he'll face a villain driven by more than just grief, but by pure lust for chaos. Harley Quinn, she's always the unpredictable, but with Carnage in her veins, she becomes even more deadlier. The symbiote feeds off her wild nature, twisting her mind into something far more bloodthirsty. The Dark Knight have fought her evil tricks many times before, but now her wicked games end in carnage. Ra's al Ghul, the immortal leader of the League of Assassins, now fused with Carnage's chaotic power, his centuries of knowledge amplified, turning him into an unstoppable force. The Lazarus Pits now pulse with symbiotic energy, fueling his vision of a world ruled by fear and destruction. Batman once fought to stop him, but now Ra's al Ghul has become a weapon of pure carnage. Killer Croc, already a beast in Gotham's underworld, but with Carnage fused into his very flesh, he's unstoppable, a perfect match for Carnage's brute strength and hunger for destruction. Batman's encounters with Croc were deadly. They may be his last. The Riddler, a mind twisted by puzzles and riddles. But now, with carnage fused into his very being, his intellect has become even more dangerous. The alien symbiote twists his riddles into deadly traps, and Batman may not have time to survive the answers. Host after host, carnage consumed Gotham's worst, but it was never enough, until it found him, the Dark Knight himself, Batman, once Gotham's protector, now fused with the very thing he fought to destroy. Carnage has found its perfect symbiosis. Now Batman is not the hero, he's the nightmare. Justice is dead. All that's left is carnage. It all started with justice. It always did. For years, Bruce Wayne defined himself by a single unwavering purpose: to bring order to Gotham's chaos, to cleanse the city's streets not by shedding blood, but through discipline, control, and relentless pursuit of justice. Batman was a symbol of order, a creature born of trauma, but shaped by will. But even the strongest symbols can be corrupted. When the Carnage symbiote found him, it was like a spark igniting a powder keg. Bruce didn't even know was there. The symbiote latched onto his anger, his frustration, his endless war against the darkness of Gotham. At first, Bruce resisted, clinging to his code like a lifeline. He could feel the symbiote probing the darkest corners of his mind, whispering promises of power, of freedom from restraint. And yet, he held on. Batman had always been in control of his body, his mind, his mission. But control, that's an illusion. The first time he felt the symbiote surge through his veins, it was intoxicating. Strength beyond anything the Bat had ever known. Speed, agility, power that made his usual tools seem primitive. But it came with a price. The violent urges, the hunger to punish, not just stop his enemies. It was small at first, a broken bone here, a shattered skull there, nothing the Dark Knight hadn't seen before. But soon he found himself crossing lines he'd sworn never to cross. At first it was the lowlifes, the thugs who littered Gotham's streets. They didn't just get apprehended, they were annihilated. Batman's punches became lethal, and the symbiote, it reveled in every drop of blood. Bruce tried to justify it. These criminals were scum, weren't they? Gotham was better off without them. That's the joke though, isn't it? The lie Bruce kept telling himself. Because deep down, he knew the truth. Batman never killed. That was the line. The line that kept him in some small way tethered to his humanity. But with carnage inside him, that line blurred, then vanished altogether. The darkness of Gotham, which he'd fought so hard to overcome, now pulsed within him. And carnage, it thrived on that darkness, piece by piece. Bruce Wayne began to crumble. His moral code, once so rigid, became flexible under the symbiote's influence. He could feel it digging into his mind, unraveling the man who had once stood for justice. And the more he fought it, the stronger the pull became. His thoughts weren't his own anymore, not entirely. The symbiote's voice echoed in his mind, mocking him, tempting him, twisting his sense of duty into something unrecognizable. What was once a mission to save Gotham had turned into something far more sinister. Batman no longer wanted to protect the city. He wanted to control it. The symbiote fed off Gotham's corruption, amplifying Bruce Wayne's darkest impulses. His once noble quest to rid the city of crime became a violent crusade. He wasn't just punishing criminals, he was purging them. And it didn't stop there. In time, the targets became more ambiguous. The politicians, the cops, even the civilians, anyone that Bruce deemed a part of Gotham City's rot, fell before his unstoppable fury. The city, that had birthed the Batman now found itself facing something far more terrifying. The Bat had fused with the Beast, creating an unstoppable force of chaos and destruction. And the worst part, Bruce was still in there, somewhere, a prisoner in his own mind, watching as the symbiote carried out its bloody vendetta in his name. There were moments, fleeting moments, when he could almost remember who he used to be, when the face of his parents, their deaths, his vow, flickered in his mind. But those moments were getting rarer. The further he descended, the darker it became. Gotham City cannot fall. He will not let it. No, he will tear it apart, piece by piece, until there is nothing left but the chaos from carnage he now embodied. Batman had become something far worse than Gotham's criminals ever were. He wasn't here to save the city anymore. He was here to reshape it, to rule it. And if Gotham had to burn for that to happen, so be it. Because in the end, there was no more Bruce Wayne, no more Batman, only carnage, only chaos.